Olá, bem-vindos a mais uma conversa com os realizadores da competição do nosso programa Transmission aqui no Porto Pós-Doc. Hoje com Paul DUANE, realizador de Welcome to the Dark Ages. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hi, Pedro. I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for taking part in these talks with the directors of our competition in the program Transmission in our festival. My first question is a doubt I have for my research about you and your career. This movie we're talking about, the title is Welcome to the Dark Ages, or What Time is Death? Because I saw different names for I think the same.
It was originally made under the name What Time is Death? But I have another film which also involves Bill Drummond, ex of the KLF, which is called Best Before Death. And that was confusing people. So when we got ready to, we're getting ready to release the film right now, and we decided to change the name to Welcome to the Dark Ages for the full release.
Okay, so if as you are talking about the other film about Bill Drummond, that is fantastic too. It's you are now like a kind of official videographer of Bill Drummond and the KLF. I don't know. What do you think about it? It will be more in the future, or it's
no? I think that's it. I mean, I was filming with Bill for the other film for about 5 years, and we've become very, we're friendly. We get on very well. And but he was, as you'll see in Welcome to the Dark Ages, he's not too keen on some kinds of filming, and they kind of, Bill and Jimmy, the ex-KLF guys, both decided on the first day of filming that they didn't really want to be in the film, which caused some problems for me. They are in the film, but they're not featured, and but we still made a film that I think is really fun and really interesting. But the guys have very strong ideas about what they won't do, so I'm happy to leave it there and go. I'm not making any more films with with them.
One thing that I can imagine is that working with these such idiosyncratic characters like these two, it is a permanent challenge to you, no?
Always, every day. But not in a way. They don't try to make life difficult for me. Okay. I mean, every time, as you'll see in the film, they did some really strange things over the year that we were filming, but they always told us where to be and what was going on, and they shared the information. Okay. They weren't kind of trying to make it dip. It's just that it's not the kind of thing where you can say to them, would you mind standing over there and doing this? Because they really won't. You just kind of, if you're able to film it, great. If you're not, that's your problem.
Okay. That's very interesting. And another thing with this movie, we saw during the year a lot of music documentaries. We are selecting music documentaries, and most of the music documentaries are very formatted about an artist, a group of people, and sometimes there's, for me, films like your movie that is an alien in this world of music documentaries. There was a discussion here in the festival if we can consider Welcome to the Dark Ages a music documentary or not.
Yeah.
And I want to know your opinion about this.
It's not a music documentary, it's a pyramid documentary. It's about pyramids. It's I mean, there is music in the film, and what's really fun is there's new music, the first new music that Bill and Jimmy have recorded together since the end of the KLF. All those little jingles and commercials throughout the film are made by them, and they're brilliant. They're fantastic. And there's Jarvis Cocker, you know, so there's musical elements, but fundamentally it's kind of a film about art, and a film about community, and a film about trying to do something completely amazing. It's kind of like Werner Herzog, Fitzcarraldo. You know, they're not trying to put the boat over the mountain. They're trying to build a pyramid out of bricks from the bodies of dead people that haven't even died yet. So it could take 200 years for this pyramid to be completed. It's an amazing vision. So I don't know what to call it, but I'm very happy to have the film in your festival. So thank you for selecting it.
For me, it's what kind of documentaries that I most loved. It's not about a music character, but it's with these music characters that are part, and a good part of modern pop history. No, so yeah. I think it's a good way to approach music and people related to music. Very different, and it's good to enlarge the way we can approach music documentaries. So and you talked about you give a little bit of information about what is about the pyramid, the death, and this is serious themes too. But there's a lot of funny moments in the movie, and for me, there's an air of I call it a beautiful and peaceful madness. But, it's my description of this, and this I recommend it to everybody, all the creators, as a piece of inspiration for young and old creators. Do you agree? You can agree on this?
Absolutely. I mean, I think they're inspiring people because they constantly question themselves, and the process they're going through is not a process where they know at the beginning what the end is going to be. They ask themselves a lot of hard questions, and they come up with brilliant, crazy solutions. And I really love their artistic process. I mean, I don't know if you know Jimmy Cauty's work as an artist, but he's a brilliant artist in his own right, building tower blocks and entire cities, model cities of apocalyptic landscapes. Bill is an artist, but when the two of them come together, they make something very strange and they always want to do something that nobody could possibly even imagine doing. If you could imagine it, they don't want to do it. And that's amazing to me. You know?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So looking a little bit about you,
mm-hmm.
and your film career, it appears for me that you are, in general, you are drawn to eccentric and fascinating middle-aged old guys that driven you to untold and fantastic stories. It is a conscious choice, or it just happens?
No, I mean it's clearly, well, one thing, the people with the best stories tend to be older. To some degree, I've remained interested in the people that I was interested in when I was like 17, 18. You know, I developed interest in various, the subjects of some of my different films were people whose work I became aware of when I was quite young, and then they aged and I filmed them later. But it's, there's so many films that don't get made. And I think really all you can see is the tip of the iceberg, all the films I've managed to get made, which, some of which are centered on eccentric men of a certain age. But I don't know. I mean, that's a hard question for me to answer. All I know is that it takes a lot to sustain. Making a film like that can take anything from 5 years to a year. It's a long time of your life to be involved with something, and you want to make sure that it's something you're really interested in. So I don't know. I suppose that's maybe it is what I'm interested in. But if the stories are good, that's what counts.
My last question is about well, the situation we are living. In a normal situation, we can have this talk with the audience in Porto, in person. But we are driven this epidemic, and do you think that when all this pass, it must pass, people will return to movie theaters as before, or with all the proliferation of digital platforms, VOD, and the new approach to cinema, that this will be the final blow for cinema as we have lived till now?
I wish I knew. I mean, I love cinema. I love seeing movies in a movie theater, but it's very hard to imagine. I mean, I love music as well, but it's hard to imagine people going back into a crowded, nightclub or a crowded venue or a crowded cinema. Even in a year, I think people have. It could take time to readjust, and I think maybe what to me the more interesting question is what kind of films will survive. And I think that one positive thing is that I think the entire Hollywood blockbuster level of cinema is now financially not viable, because you can't make the money back from VOD or from stream. So I think maybe we might see a return to smaller movies, more niche, more interesting. The blockbuster that everybody and their whole family goes to see, I think, may be over. I don't know, but that's not a kind of cinema I ever liked anyway. But I would like to hope that cinema survives in a more intimate, special way, as a place that we can all go to see films that we want to see. But I do think you're right. It's like the last nail in the coffin of an industry that was already in big trouble. So, my friends who work in cinema exhibition are very worried. I can't blame them. I'm worried. Everybody's worried. But cinema is an art form that had a beginning. It may have an end. If it does have an end, we've made a beautiful thing, a beautiful 120 years of cinema, and maybe that's all it ever was supposed to be. Who knows? We won't know until it's over.
Maybe this crisis as another one could be a good moment for a more creative approach of all the visual art.
I agree. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a time when all of us. I watched an interview with the great Japanese director Shinya Tsukamoto yesterday, and he just said, "It's chaos, and I'm confused, and I'm lost, and I don't know what's going to happen." And I think that's kind of, that's all any of us can say is we have to wait, we have to hope, we have to keep ourselves in our hearts alive the best way we can. And like the People's Pyramid, like this giant act of faith in the future, we build something and we don't know if there will be anybody there to see it. We don't know if we will be there to see it, but making it, doing it is what's important. Being creative, you don't have to have a plan or an end. You just do it. And I think it's a great lesson to all of us that we do not control the world. The world does what it wants. We're just here.
That's why I recommend finally to everybody to see Welcome to the Dark Ages. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Pedro.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you. Enjoy. Bye.